and welcome yourselves to STST. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to start something new. It's going to be weekly, every single Thursday at 8:45. So thank you for being the first of the new series. There's some absolute legends in the chat, and I can see you all already. Charlie Welch, Charlie Poo, hello, good to see you, mate. We've got Baldy Cats, what an absolute legend. I think he's talking about here. Oh no, here we go, legend, mate. Good to see you. Mighty Possum, Night God, hello. Martin H, Joe Black. Are Conspiracy Cats and Baldy Cats twins, and is STST their brother? I can confirm Conspiracy Cats and Baldy Cats are twins, but I am not their brother. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to break it to you, but I am not. Are Simon Dan's legs CGI? Yes. Yes, they are. And he runs marathons with CGI legs, which I find amazing. Probably one of the only people ever to actually complete marathons with CGI legs. So well done, Dan. Other questions will not be answered in this stream. Joe Black, you know, if you say this question will not be answered, it's going to get answered. So thank you all so much. If you could, if you haven't already, give the like, just a little ding-a-ling, just a little tickle, or even the dislike if you don't like what you are witnessing. I am an ex-conspiracy theorist nut. I used to believe the lot. Basically, I drew the line at lizard people. But anything under that, I was game. I was game for it all. And then actually the guy in the chat at the moment, a little lad called Baldy Cats, or well, it was Baldy Cats. His evil twin brother Conspiracy Cats a little bit as well. But I'd say it was more Baldy Cats that did help me see the light and come back to reality, of which is the globe. So I'm interested in other channels, what other people have to say. Why do we do what we do? Why do other debunkers get into what they're doing, etc., etc.? Martin H, I'm an ex-conspiracy theory nut. Yeah. Trouble is, you don't really realize you're a nut until you leave. And the conspiracy guys obviously find it quite derogatory. FE peer review, always good to see you. What's wrong with lizard people? They need love too. We all do. We all need love, FE. And I love you, mate. I hope you are well. Marcus Dresden, it's always good to see you. Tiny Captain, or as I usually think right now is Tiny Captain. That's terrible. That's just absolutely, that was awful. I'm sorry for putting you guys through that. But you know, less of this. What I think is, us guys are skeptics. Conspiracy theorists call themselves skeptics, but where does that line draw? Where does that line cross? So I've got a guest with me today, and he is my first guest of the new series. So I'm really thankful for him accepting my offer. So Mr. Jones 1972, what an absolute legend. He himself, he does the lot really. Flat Earth debunking, Karens, frauditors, all the good stuff. And this man actually is so close to 1,000 subscribers. It must hurt. It must hurt. And this guy definitely deserves them, because he is prolific. in what he's actually doing. I've kind of noticed his channel, and I love a couple of the subjects that he talks about, which isn't flat Earth. But I'm going to bring the guest on. So, Mr. Jones, I'm about to add you to the stream, good sir. If I press the buttons correctly. I don't think I did. I'll try it again. There we go.
Hello. Hello. You caught me mid.
Mr. Jones! Yes, mate.
This is a pint glass, right? I'm just about 2'16" tall.
Jesus Christ.
So, you know.
That's huge.
It is, yeah. It's like my stomach. I'll tell you, it's huge. Anyway, how are you doing, good sir? You all right?
Yes, mate. Very, very
excellent,
well.
Excellent. What an absolute honour it is. For you. I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine and dandy me. Looking forward to tonight's stream. I've recognised some faces in the side chat already. Baldy Cats, a great guy. Dog Walker.
Yes.
FA peer review. I've seen them all, and all of them absolutely superb guys. This community has welcomed me with open arms, and I can't thank them enough.
Legend, dude. That's really cool. Like, you kind of a few weeks ago, the algorithm obviously pushed you my way again, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I kind of just was like, oh, I remember this guy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, because there's so many creators out there, isn't there?
Yeah,
and you know, you can't watch everybody. Of course, nobody can. No. But you know, it obviously got to that kind of. I just kind of was like, oh yeah, I remember Mr. Jones. Like, you know, like I was like, yes, and I like checked you out, loved it, mate. And I was just like, do you know what? Let's set up a new series where I ask like one creator on every week, chat a little bit, obviously, of course, about themselves, their channel, and then go into other conspiracies. You know, of course, a little bit of flat Earth talk. It's got to be done, mate.
Definitely.
But no, thank you so much for joining me.
No, it's my pleasure entirely, and I know it's an honour for you to have me.
Yes, it is.
Oh God, yeah, right, yeah, thank you.
No, thank you as well, dude. Like, it's just as much as an honour for me as it is you. Like, anyone in the chat. Like, so I mean, what the kind of format is going to be. I think Mr. Jones has given me around an hour and a half of his time, and what we're going to do is 45 minutes of me and Mr. Jones having a little chat. You know, can be less, can be more. There is no kind of format. It's very relaxed. But then I've also left a link to join the stream. So if there's anything said or anyone wants to come in and say something, then we're going to leave the last 45 minutes open in case anybody else would just, you know, want to jump in, thinks they want to say something, tell Mr. Jones how great he is or how much they don't like him. It's completely up to you.
Shocking.
Oh, mate,
shocking.
Proud Boltonian.
Very much so, yes. Proud Boltonian. Never get me out of this town, unfortunately.
But that's good though. I like a bit of our local pride.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Bolton. Like I say, I was born and brought up in Bolton. Going through some rough times, as every town does. And yeah, I'm very, very loyal to it. I'm a very loyal person, to be honest. I've never cheated on Mrs. Jones, although I've been tempted a few times. The cow. I've told her pack it in. She just won't leave me alone, bless her. I keep trying to kick her out, but she keeps coming back. She's like a fucking boomerang. She is. But just a Englishman, Boltonian, very proud of my country, very proud of my town, and very proud of my football team, which is Bolton Wanderers, obviously. And
I think you gave my hometown a licking a few weeks back at Ipswich Town.
Ipswich Town, yes, yes, we did. I think we've got you 5-2. I think, was it 5-2?
Yes, mate.
Pretty sure
we've picked up a bit of form recently, but
yeah, good on you. I mean, I don't because we had that bit of a rivalry, didn't we? When we're going trying to get into the Premiership some years ago. and Mr. Barry Knight, he refed our match, and I can't believe what an unbelievable moron that man was. I mean, 9 players booked, 3 sent off for Bolton, and not 1 player booked for Ipswich. He just had a hate. He just had a hate boner for us. He absolutely had a hate boner. He's like me with flat earthers.
Yeah. No, I'm only joking. I really do respect. Well, just to tell the stream, this isn't going to be a football stream, so don't worry.
Oh no.
But just another 30 seconds, and then we'll get to the conspiracy.
Yeah.
But I remember, when Ipswich, I think we beat Bolton in the playoffs to go to the Prem. Yeah. I think that was 5-2 or something 5-2, and that was one of my favourite games ever.
Yeah, fascinating game, but like I say, the ref was absolutely against us that day.
But mate, when you had Good Johnson and buddy,
we had some.
There was
some fabulous players.
Yes,
fabulous players.
But anyway, enough football.
Just a quick mention. Paul Mariner, rest in peace, young man. Best header of a ball I've ever seen.
Yeah, he is a legend, isn't he?
Yeah, absolute legend.
We've got Limey play here saying who's Ipswich. Limey, any true football fan, you're gonna know. Yeah, I mean that's a yellow straight away. So Limey's on a yellow, even though actually is one of my. I think I've got 6 or 7 members, and is one of my members. But that doesn't mean you cannot get a yellow card, Limey. Who's Ipswich? Just Google it. Google it, buddy. I'm only joking, mate. I hope you are well. So I've literally got questions written down here. I'm gonna quickly put them down so nobody sees them. But just to keep the flow and really, let's just talk about conspiracies and things, but obviously still get to know you yourself, good sir. So my first question, really, what made you want to become a debunking channel?
Oh, the very first, when I first started the channel, I wanted it to be a gaming channel. I was playing video games at the time. My favourite at that time was The Last of Us, and we was just starting. It was just after lockdown, I think, and I thought, well, I'm bored here. What do I do? So I thought I'll buy some equipment, I'll get myself set up and do a gaming channel. And then I came across, I'd never heard of Flat Earth before I started, which may surprise a lot of people, but I saw a channel and I saw a video by Cool Hard Logic. I'm sure some people in the chats will remember that guy. The funniest YouTube creator. I don't mean any disrespect to any others. Because I know Baldy Cats can be a bit boring sometimes, obviously. I'm only joking.
Yeah. Well, he can, but the Conspiracy Cat's got a sense of humour, which is strange, isn't it?
I mean, 2 entirely different people and 2 entirely different senses of humour. Bless them, but still bald. Got to get that sorted out. Anyway, I saw a channel, Cool Hard Logic, and I think it was a video called Testing Flat Earths. And it was the funniest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. And I thought, well, I'm nowhere near good enough to do something like this. So I left it alone for a few weeks. And then I saw Mr. Sensible. He said he was debunking stupidity with logic and cheese. And I thought, how is he going to do something with cheese? And he did. And I think he did a Sleeping Warrior video, and he completely demolished Sleeping Warrior with a bit of cheese. So I just sort of fell into it, really. I think the first video was commenting on FTFE, another great guy. He did a debate with Howard George Stirrup, and if you know Howard George Stirrup, tell the man to tell him to A, buy a razor, and B, grow a brain cell because he hasn't got any. Bless him. I have a real dislike for that man. I do. So I sort of fell into it. Really, I didn't want my channel to be like that. So I sort of fell into it, and then what I like about it is I've learned so much.
Yes.
I thought that was just a given. I didn't know. I knew about gravity. I didn't know it was accelerating towards the ground. I didn't know anything about that. I've learned so much, and it's untrue. And every single video that you do, and I'm sure other creators will agree. Every single video that you do, you learn something new. And I'm like a sponge. I soak it all up, and different things fascinate me. And that's why my channel features like loads of different things, because different things fascinate me all the time.
One thing that obviously kind of fascinates me about your channel, I think obviously a lot of people in England, especially UK, is the BBC stuff that you do.
Yes, I'm very, very passionate about that.
I've noticed the hashtag like defund the police. Defund the police. No, I'm not saying.
Yeah, just keep that one down. No. The John Downs might be listening.
Yeah, defund the BBC.
Yeah.
I mean, what is your passion with that?
Well, I just got a letter one day from the BBC. I used to be a part of TV License Resistance Info on, because I got caught with watching TV without a license. I got caught. I got fined. And I thought there must be some way around this. Is there a way around this? So I did a bit of research and joined a Facebook page called TV License Resistance Info. And they give out a lot of brilliant advice and on how to become TV license free legally. And I followed that, and I got a letter one day, remembered that I was a member of that group, and I thought, well, I've got the equipment here. Why not do a video on it? And I think that's my most successful video to date. It's got about 15,000 views on that. So a lot of people have noticed, and a lot of people have promoted it. And again, I can't thank them enough. And it's just a passion of mine, because you don't get Asda turning up at your front door saying, "Here's 159 quid's worth of shopping. Yeah, there you go," and I won't paying for it. I said, I'm not using it, you dickhead. It's all for leave me alone. I'm not even using it.
That's so well put.
And that's the thing, and that community's welcomed me as well. I'm good friends with Chili John Carney, who does a lot of wonderful stuff about TV license, and Watching Observer, Smug One as well. He does a lot of great stuff. There's only so many times you can say, like, don't open the door and don't speak to these people and ignore the letters. I'm not too interested in the politics side of the BBC. I know they're a biased, a biased, wasteful organisation, and basically it's on its arse. And the sooner the license fee goes, the better, because it's such an unfair belly tax. It's untrue.
Yeah, no, to be honest, that is something I'm in total agreement with you with. I've had occasions where, in the past, I think my girlfriend, she had, one of these agents turn up at the door, and they make it sound like they're reading you your rights, more or less like you're under arrest. The way they talk, and it can make people panic, and they've got someone at their door, and suddenly they feel like, wow, I'm committing an offence here, and it really makes them feel criminal, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, you're assumed you're committing a crime before you even know that you committed a crime, and I think that's so unfair. And the way the letters are worded, it's so intimidating. I mean, they use the terms enforcement officer when they've got no more power than me, you, the milkman, or Mrs. Jones. Absolutely no power whatsoever. And you're perfectly entitled to close the door and ignore the letters and completely ignore them. And if you do all those things, you are legally license free, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
BBC
Martin H. here, real or a conspiracy?
Conspiracy, definitely. This has been proven time and time again. I'm going to tell you now the number of convictions that have happened because of evidence from a TV license ban. Absolutely zero. None. They have really. They have.
Wow. Yeah.
Why the BBC thinks it can eavesdrop on households without a warrant is beyond me, and they can't, obviously. The BBC detective vans are nothing but a scare tactic, and that's it.
Yeah.
I used to, when I lived around here, when I was a kid, in fact, there was a woman who used to run around the neighbourhood, and she's knocking on the door. BBC detective vans are on the way. They, and turn off your tellers and everything like that. And that was back in the day when we didn't really know anything. But now, thanks to the internet, we know we know more. We know a lot more than the BBC would like us to know.
Yes, that's the thing, isn't it?
And especially Juggy as Lineker as well. He wants sacking, that man. Can't stand that get.
Oh yeah, I mean the wage is ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, just that wage alone. As a person, I don't know. You can't blame him. If someone offered you that amount of money, you're going to be the fool to turn it down, if you know what I mean. But
true. But he sort of fell into the job when Des Lynam went. When he went for Match of the Day, so he sort of fell into it because he was already a person on there. He was already critiquing footy matches and punditry and all the rest of it. But why advertise Walker's crisps? If I ever see Lineker, I'm going to stick some cheese and onion right up his nose. Juggy
where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll put some footballs up there and all, and see him score from there.
I love Bullet Bill here, actually, who is as we would probably call, a good friend of the channel. He's been here from the very start, and he's put, I like the BBC. Yeah, I mean,
fine, absolutely fine. I don't, I don't mind anybody who defends the BBC. Please do, but I resent the fact that I have to. If I want to watch ITV, I have to pay the BBC £159. Why should I? Because I'm already, the ITV funds itself. The BBC should change the way it's funded. Perhaps they should go into advertisements like like ITV, or go subscription. But they're absolutely too scared to go subscription because they will lose like 3/4 of the viewers easily because they're resentful now. But
there is a lot of obviously. I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of conspiracies even with the BBC, isn't there? I think a lot of people. I mean, what I'm going to do with this podcast, guys, I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to care if this gets demonetized. I'm not going to care about what I say. And I feel like before I used to be like calling myself Seek Truth, Speak Truth, and then I didn't dare talk about conspiracies that I actually think are true. So I thought, F this, I'm just going to start talking about it, and forget demonetized, it gets demonetized. I do not give a shit. But
say I can swear then?
You can bloody swear if you want, mate.
No, I won't. No.
No, I mean, I'm not, it's not going to be a swear fest or anything, but
no.
I don't want to put a cap over my mouth, like I don't want to just, there are certain things where YouTube algorithms probably look down on certain subjects, but I don't want to be told not to say something or think that I can't say it. And they even say, I don't know, with the BBC, how in my mind, obviously the stuff with what was his bloody name? Jimmy Savile.
Jimmy Savile, yeah.
And like covering up, there was stuff going down, wasn't there?
Yeah. Who was it? Johnny Rotten said something about it. Francis Rossi as well. He said something about it, and nobody would listen, and they were shut down straight away and said, don't talk about it. Jimmy Savile's too massive. He's, we are the BBC. We are global. Everybody loves us. Nobody's going to believe any of that crap anyway. And, and it's okay, makes sense. When did he snuff it? The dirty little basket. 2011, and good riddance.
Yeah, good riddance. Good riddance.
Years ago. This is why I have a particular dislike for the BBC and organisations that do that sort of thing in general. Cover things up, and there's the MP that's in trouble, and government's done a U-turn just this past few hours now, and I don't like it, and I just want some open openness and some honesty, which is obviously what you can't get with flat earthers or young Earth creationists. Bless them.
Well, that's it. That is it. I mean, let's take it to somewhere else. I mean, a question I had written down. I know, obviously, you have made videos against young Earth creationism and things.
Yeah.
But say, from the outside, do you think there is a possibility of a creator or God that isn't written down? You know, could there be a power that nobody knows about, a creator? Or are you know, what I'm going to leave it there. What would you say to that?
I'm sort of open-minded, because before I started getting into this sort of stuff, I thought that we had what I used to call a life path, that our life was mapped out for us, accidents or otherwise. There was no such thing as accidents. And I truly believe that we had a life path, and we followed that path without any deviations whatsoever. And then I got into the creationist side of stuff, and then started learning about evolution, Big Bang, and etc. But there's far too much evidence to convince me that evolution is real and the Big Bang theory is real, etc. But there's still unanswered questions. I mean, we don't really know how life began. We know how life evolved, but we don't know how it began. We know how the universe expanded, but we don't know what the thing was that kicked it all off. And that's why science fascinates me. I listen to people. Maybe I shouldn't have listened to the likes of Matt Powell and Kent Hovind, who are completely close me off to the possibility of a creator. They've completely done that themselves.
Keep talking, dude. I'm still here, dude. Keep talking. I'm just going to turn my camera off and mute for like 30 seconds.
Right. He's going for a piss, I think. So if I hadn't listened to those people first, then probably I would have entertained the thought of a creator. But it's weird that people who push their ideas onto other people so much tend to push those people away, and that's probably why I can't really entertain the possibility of a creator. I'm sorry, but if religious people have their beliefs, that's absolutely fine. I don't mind that. I'm not pushing my beliefs onto you, so don't push my beliefs onto me. Don't tell me I'm wrong. When it's very, very weird. Religion's a tough subject, I think, and and it's a hard one.
It is. No, religion is just so difficult, isn't it? It's kind of actually what drew me into flat Earth is the thought of a creator, and suddenly I felt like there is an afterlife. There could be an afterlife, and I don't know, certain I struggle with certain things like that, and I think maybe that's where a lot of religion comes from, is kind of the promise that there's something else. There's something else to come. We've actually got conspiracy cats in the chat now, so we've got the funny of the two. Yeah, the legend.
Is he still a Blackburn fan? Poor man. That poor man. I think he supports Blackburn, and oh dear.
Yeah. Well, all I can say, if he does support Blackburn, though, he has got Alan Shearer and that Premier League title. So
yeah, he has the git.
You said it. You said it right there.
It's a polite way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say something so much worse. But I'm going to go to my next question.
Yeah, please do.
Why do you think people fall for flat Earth?
Why do I think? It depends who you listen to from the flat Earth. If you listen to somebody like Howard George Stirrup, who, despite his protestations, Howard, you're a flat earther. If you listen to people like him, you'd realise that he is one A1 nutball. But if you listen to people like Eric Dubay and probably Mark Sargent to a certain degree, you know, the top flat earthers, if you listen to those people, they put their case very well. I mean, everything that they say is wrong, but they put it well. And that might convince some people to think, whoa, they're right, obviously. I mean, like the aforementioned Weird Beard Howard George Stirrup, he was convinced after 4 or 5 proofs of an Eric Dubay video. I mean, what an unimaginable Burke that man is.
I mean, to be honest, dude, I think it took me at least 30 of his proofs. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't take 5. Yeah, no.
If I'd listened to those people first, I don't know if I would have been a flat earther before I started making videos. I don't know if I would have been, and I'm being
really
honest.
That was literally my next question.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have been a flat earther, but I'd have certainly questioned it. I'd have been a globe skeptic, which is a load of bollocks in itself, to be honest. Globe skeptic, my ass. You're just too embarrassed to call yourself a flat earther, and that's it.
And that's pathetic, isn't it? Like, at least have the balls to call yourself a flat earther.
Yeah.
You know, at least own it.
Yeah, you can't go around saying, well, the Earth's not a globe, but I don't know what it is. And you think to yourself, what? You're not even making any sense, you pea-brained ass.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I know that the Earth's not a globe, but I don't know what it is. What a dickhead! Oh God, give me strength. I'd love to debate that man.
Got a bill here. It happens. People fall for things.
They do.
It does. Maybe I just look at it. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe you were caught at the wrong time.
Yeah. I definitely was actually caught at the wrong time to have fallen into it. Definitely. Yeah. Again, though, this is most flat earthers think that they're more intelligent than they are. So I still have that. I still have that myself. So I really try and rein that in and try and tell myself, you know, you don't know as much as you think you do, and try and not compare myself to other people, but definitely, you know, when you look out for other people and you think, wow, like they're so intelligent, they know so much. And I think flat earthers, though, or a lot of conspiracy theorists, they just get, you know, kind of pulled into this, you know, 9 times out of 10, not being funny, they're not going to have the best of educations. No. You know, it's just being serious now. I'm the same. You know, I didn't have anything. I did my first year of A levels and failed. You know, and it's just kind of, it's going to be the sequence that happens, and it's horrible to say, but then this thing comes along where I'm so intelligent now, you know, and I can tell a PhD in physics, you're wrong, you're stupid, you're indoctrinated. And, you know, you watch a couple of YouTube videos and suddenly you can tell someone that studied at uni for, say, 7-8 years, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, you know, if you want to go, you'll go, you know, and it's kind of, if you want to go there, you'll go there. And they say, like, oh, I spent 2 years looking for proof of the globe, evidence for the globe, and then I went to flat Earth. No, you didn't, you know, because if you actually went looking for proof of the globe, you would never have gone to flat Earth. No. It's as simple as that, you know.
Well, they're just not being honest.
Yeah.
Not being honest at all.
Yeah. I mean, why do you think people, obviously a lot of people that fall for it, why do you think it's so hard for them to leave? Like, do you think there's a reason why?
I think it's attention more than anything. I mean, I look at the example of Arwen. I used to troll his channel when he did the early bird show. I mean, he used to get up at 12 noon. How the flipping Nora, right, can you call it early bird? I've been up for 6 hours by that time, by the time it comes to 12 noon. What a lazy bark. Goodness me.
12 in the
12 noon, and he
so
calls it the
true.
early bird show. You used to go live at 1 o'clock our time, at 1300 hours our time, and then that, I think Holland are an hour behind us, and he calls it the early bird show. So the birds, right, have got up, had the breakfast, had the lunch, and then pissed off back to the nest. Dopey get. But I used to troll him. I used to troll. He banned me because I called the Bible a book of fables, and which, in my belief, it is. And he banned me for that. And I think he's too far gone now. He's got too much attention, and I think probably did cats, yeah. And I think he's too far gone, and he feels part of something. And I think that's why flat earthers find it hard to leave, because they're part of a group now, and and the flat earthers in that group are respected, and they respect each other. Well, unless you're called Nathan Oakley, obviously. And then, you feel part of that, and it's good to feel part of something. I feel like a part of the TV license resistance. I feel part of that community. They've welcomed me with open arms. You guys have welcomed me with open arms. You, Global Mom, where's Wally? And Wolf is 60, 20, 50, 25, 16, whatever he's called. I love Wolfie. Despite the fact he was born with the disability of being Australian, he's an actually really sad guy, and so is Where's Wally.
I think their whole lives upside down,
Yeah, amazing. What an amazing talent. You can walk on the underside of a ball without falling off it. I've never known talent like it. I mean, the sugar one, Australia's got talent, but then everybody's walking upside down. So there'd be no point. You just walk onto stage and saying, "Well, you're doing what we're doing earlier on. You get off." I do like Holly Holland.
What's your favourite evidence for the globe? Like, what if someone said to you, like, "Oh, I'm starting to think the Earth might be flat"? What would you're like, no? What would your no moment be?
Distance. I think distance. Why can't I see Mount Everest from where I am on the globe? Why are buildings disappearing bottom first? Why are ships disappearing bottom first? Why are mountains disappearing bottom first? You can't. Mountains is probably the better one, because I don't know an awful lot about refraction. I know it's a change in speed as light enters another medium, so I'm not sure how much refraction there can be if you're going down a straight road and you're seeing the tops of the mountains, and you're seeing the middle of the mountains, the base of the mountains as you go through that road. I don't know how much refraction there might be there, but that's probably. But then I'd point to photos from space. I know that flat earthers are going to say, well, they're all fake, they're all CGI, it's all Photoshop because it has to be. But I pointed out that Robin Simmons said it's Photoshopped because it has to be. He's talking about one photo, and flat earthers jump all over it. But I say, well, prove it's fake. Prove it's fake. And you can study it, and you can just get any picture, undoctored picture of the globe, and just say to yourself, well, right, I'll examine it. But if you can't do that, get a few mates in different parts of the world and measure you can measure the radius of the Earth just by using a mountain. And if the radius matches up on different points of the Earth, then the Earth must be a sphere. It can't be flat.
They'd find a way, though. They'd find a way around it, wouldn't they? They'd find a way around the curve, which is quite ironic.
But then I'd say, make your own aeroplane, fly around the Earth, and take different photographs of it, and you'll soon see that you'll see different landmarks and what have you. It's just too big not to be a globe for a start. And I can't. And plus, you can. I'm trying to think of a really, really easy way. I think, was it Wolfie that did it? No, Astronomy Live did it. They measured the angles to the sun, the shadows, etc., and different people did that in different parts of the world. Because we all know that light travels in parallel lines, and everything matched name a prediction, the globe Earth can do it. Name a prediction, the flat Earth can't. You know, volcanoes.
I mean, I've literally seen flat earthers though, especially on like say Facebook and things. It seems like Facebook is like the breeding ground of flat Earth, and then they kind of graduate from there to YouTube as trolls. But like, you know, they will even say on there like, oh, just the most stupid, simple things. You know, like, oh, space is fake. You know, nobody's ever proven the spin. Nobody's ever
thermodynamics.
Yeah, and you, oh, dude, and you're just like, and then they'll call, you know, they'll say you're just a sheep, and you're just like, dude, you are the sheep, you know. And there's only so many times you can tell them though, isn't there, as well? But
I've been called. I've admitted it on me. I've admitted it on my channel. I've said on one video, I've cornered the YouTube market in debunking something without actually knowing what I'm talking about. And nobody has picked up on it. Absolutely nobody has picked up on it. And I said, I've cornered the market with, you know, debunking stuff without actually having a clue what I'm talking about. And nobody clicks it. Somebody might do, you know, as my subscriber count goes up, somebody might. Yeah, I've told everybody now. There's a Blackadder 2 reference actually in my latest video, and nobody's picked up on that either. You sad old. Why have you not?
But no, that's so true though. Really, I think probably flat Earth is, you know, you probably need the least qualifications to be able to debunk it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, even say chemtrails or something. You know, you should probably know a little bit more about, you know.
Yeah, the thing with chemtrails
not just the basics, you know, but you can literally just debunk flat Earth with looking at the moon, you know, and just realizing that, oh, there's two celestial poles. Map that out on a flat surface. That can never happen. Okay, the Earth cannot be flat. You know, and that's what most normal people that have no clue about gravity.
So much,
you know, it's just
so much evidence out there. Sorry, there's so much evidence out there that it's untrue, and I just wish that flat earthers, they claim to be open-minded, and I've had this. I've asked Howard Stirrup this, and I said, you claim to be so open-minded, but how come you're so close-minded to the fact that the Earth can be a globe? And he ignored me. Bless him, the prick. Wait till I have him. I'd love to, Howard, if you're listening, a debate, me and you. I'll bring my 5 best pieces of evidence that the Earth's a globe. You bring your best 5 pieces of evidence that the Earth's not a globe, and let's have a debate about it. There's your challenge, pal.
Yeah. Well, people go on to the Stirrups channel as well. Give him if he has got a channel, give him some comments. He recently debated Mr. Sensible, so I know exactly who you mean. And I mean, he's one of these guys. He seems a bit sly to me, and he
very much so.
I don't know. He's very conniving. I don't know if that's the right word, but he
slippery.
kind of that's the word I was
very,
looking for.
Very slippery in every single one of his debates. When he knows he's losing, or when he knows his evidence has been countered by something that he can't explain, he'll try and change the subject. But what Mr. Sensible did brilliantly in his debate, he kept Stirrup on topic, and he wouldn't let it go until he was satisfied with with the outcome. So fair play, Mr. Sensible, to that one. He did really, really well on that channel, on that debate.
He did, yeah.
He's a good guy. I do love Mr. Sensible.
Yeah, he is a very good guy, actually, Mr. S. Yeah. You can just tell by watching his videos, can't you? He's just such a good buddy guy.
He is, yeah. He's a really, really nice bloke.
He is. I'm gonna go way out now. Subject change. Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. The universe is so enormous, almost infinite. I don't think the little green men, but I do think there is intelligent life out there, which it's difficult because we base an alien race's intelligence on our own. These aliens could have thought of things that we haven't thought of, because human arrogance is so big, and it's so it's difficult to explain, but we can't help but base other races or other life forms on our own intelligence. I think that's wrong, because they could have thought of something that we haven't thought of. They could travel faster than light. They could have easily thought of ways to travel through. But who'd want to come and visit this planet in the state that it's in right now? I mean, come to Bolton, yeah, because you won't be able to tell the difference between alien forms and human beings here. So, yeah, I do believe in aliens. Yeah, they've never visited this planet.
Honestly think one of the main, I don't know whether, like, by the time, say, a civilization gets to that point where they can leave their own planet, you know, you'd have to be kind of civilized. And is that planet kind of near the end of its life, or that kind of solar system at its time? You know, I really think like that would probably be the moment where, you know, because from now, say, from our sun kind of engulfing us, that's still billions of years away. So we're never going to see it, of course. But, you know, imagine in 10,000 years, if, you know, humans still carry on existing, who on earth knows what can happen? You know, and in a way, you know, that is the race, really, isn't it? To kind of, in the future, surely they'll be just trying to find another solar system to live in, you know, even if it is just taking a certain population, because surely they'll have that long to do it, that if it's going to happen, it's going to happen then, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, hopefully they, I don't think we'll see aliens in our lifetime. I think that's way, way, way off. But hopefully they're going to be friendly. And that's, hopefully they're going to be friendly. But again, I'm basing it on human experience now. I'm basing it on human knowledge. And will they understand the thing that we say? Will they understand us? Will they, you know, integrate with us like, you know, Alien Nation, that 80s program? But it's a difficult one. I certainly don't think they've been to this planet.
No,
that's for certain. Why would they? Because they're just going to come down and see a lot of dinosaurs, aren't they? If they can tell from light. So they're just.
They wouldn't hide, would they?
No, they wouldn't hide. I think
come that far, they wouldn't hide.
Yeah, no. You're traveling billions and billions of years, billions of light years, just for come and have a look at us and not say hello. Like, rude for a start.
Take old Sheila from the sheep farm in like South Texas somewhere, and like, do you know what I mean? Like, and you just think,
we travel billions and billions of light, billions and billions of light years, just to put some fucking crop circles in a field. Yeah, come on, give me strength. It's like astrology.
One thing that always used to make me think was like, you know, we call ourselves civilized and we wear clothes, you know, we know what decency is. So why did aliens lose their decency and start running around naked? Do you know what I mean? Like, where, you know, why do they do that? You know, they seem to have no physical defining features, if you know what I mean. Whereas like the human race, we're all different, aren't we? You know, we're you know, but whereas like aliens is just like, I don't know, what is there, like 3 types? I don't know, like there's the greys, and then there's supposedly greens, and then like the, you know, that's it. You know, but I don't know. Is Paul Heath in here? If I've missed him, good to see you, mate. I actually hope to have you on as a guest sometime, buddy. That would be absolutely legendary. We've reached 55 minutes. So what we said was we'd have a chat for a little while. There is a a link in the description to join the actual stream. So now for the last probably 40 minutes, something like that, if Mr. Jones is up for it, if anybody else would like to join the stream, they can, and we will just carry on the conversation. You know, we can talk aliens, we can talk flat Earth, we can talk anything. So yeah, if you do want to join the stream, there is a link in the description. It's kind of like a StreamYard link. Hit that and I'll add you. No worries either way, though. We'll just carry on. I do still have some more little questions going. And if any of these questions make you want to join, hit the join. But at this moment, there is 40 people in here. There's probably maybe a few of those people that are not subscribed to Mr. Jones 1972. And I really do think that you should, because this guy is actually quite a prolific creator. He releases 2 videos every week. So, you know, it's quick, snappy for all those people that really do love just the creators that actually create. I'm actually one of the ones that don't. I'm so ad hoc, but I'm trying my best to actually now stream every Thursday at 7:45. I've already got FTFE confirmed as a guest and Conspiracy Cats or Baldy Cats. So I don't know who's going to turn up, but one of those will. But anybody, it doesn't matter who you are. If you've got 2 subscribers, 0 subscribers, 150,000 subscribers, if you'd actually like to come on here sometime, just give me an email, give me a comment, and we'll just have a one-on-one chat and then ask guests if they want to join as well. So I have actually got a guest that is joining, which is Bullet Bill. So I'm about to add you, mate, to the stream. So, oh no, I did it again. I keep pressing the wrong button. Right, Bullet Bill, here we go. Hello, mate. How are you?
Hello, dude. I'm just popping in for a bit. Hi, Mike. Mike, sorry.
Mike.
Jones. I don't know what your first name is.
This is Mike here.
That's Mike.
I think it's because there's a flat earther called Mike Jones, so the name was in my head. Not sorry to compare you to him because he's not the best, not a very nice guy.
Mike Jones. Oh no! Why did it? I blame my mum and dad. I'm gonna kill them. Well, my dad's died already anyway for 7 years, so it'll have to be my mum. I'll have to euthanize her or something. Give me the name Jones, the cow. But anyway,
the cow.
she's all right, really. She's a blessing. That's why I'm moved back in with mum because she's got early onset dementia. So I'm back in now, looking after my mum, making sure everything's all right.
Oh,
but everything's fine and dandy. She's absolutely fine. She's got her programs and she's got her fags, and she's happy as a pig in milk chocolate hobnobs, really.
Oh. Well, is she happy that she gets to forget you for half the day? Or no, I'm only joking.
Yeah, she probably makes more sense than I do. But even with early onset dementia, she still thinks that the idea that the Earth could be flat is a load of bollocks.
Oh, that's just reminded me actually of that bloody David Voice. Do you see when he interviewed that lady who was very elderly, like and it's just like, oh, back in our day, and I was just thinking, you disgusting fucking vile man, like to be using that woman like that. I was just like, oh, that's horrible. Cats is off to bed. Cats, mate, have a good little sleep. Great stream, guys, but I'm up at 6. Need to get to sleep. Good night. Okay. Tell your brother that we're still here, but he might have to get to sleep as well at exactly the same time for some unbeknownst reason. Sir Sick, hello, mate. Good to see you.
Sir Sick, I love that legend. Guy. Love that guy.
Yeah. I think this might be the first time this gentleman has entered a live stream. So, hello, mate. Thank you for joining. What a legend.
He is Sir Sick. I love Sir Sick, mate.
Yeah, he is. He's one of the. I think he's been going for a good few years, hasn't he? And really, I found him through the Creaky Blinder, and then
Creaky.
Yeah, got a love a bit of Creaky.
He has not got an accent.
No,
he has not got an accent. That man, no. So everybody in the stream, will you go over to Creaky's channel anytime? And you say, Creaky, you've not got an accent, and Mr. Jones sent you. No, STST sent you. Don't blame it on me. All right.
Right, I'm going to ask another question that I've got written down. Did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself?
Ooh. Part of me says yeah, and part of me says no. Part of me says yeah because he couldn't live with the shame, but then part of me says no because a man with that level of narcissism, would he really kill himself? So I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be boring and sit on the fence. No, he didn't kill himself. And I'm gonna.
He didn't kill himself.
No, I think it was oft.
I'm very like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, if he did kill himself, he's as guilty as sin.
Yeah.
So, you know, if he did kill himself, then so many crimes, he's basically admitting to a lot in most cases. But then again, he could have killed himself and being completely innocent.
Yeah.
But in my mind, that's what happened. I don't know. I keep my more skeptical mind is obviously leaning towards he killed himself. But there's still that little bit of me that goes, oh, you know, was he topped off? Was he topped off? I don't know.
That man will know some stuff. Some stuff that maybe other people don't want finding out about. So it's a difficult one. Did he? Didn't he? I'm going to say no. I think he was probably off because Hollywood and all that elite they just have no shame whatsoever. They will cover up for each other, and if you get on the wrong side of them, you will be ostracized, and in some cases, probably oft.
Okay, well, that actually kind of leads on to the next question I was going to ask, but I don't know, maybe if Bullet Bill wanted to add anything, it's completely up to him. But a question maybe is like the existence of the elites, you know, like there is this suggestion that do cover-ups happen, which it seems like maybe they do, but, you know, especially... you know, I hate using these terms like the elites, the upper echelons, but you know, this whole show is called Conspiracy. So, guys, if you know more than we do, step in and help us out. But it's all hearsay, you know. It's all hearsay.
I mean, the Jeffrey Epstein thing. I don't know. It's odd how people are so fascinated with it. I think it's because it's such a horrendous case that it sort of drums up that much interest. I don't really know. I don't know how much it matters. I don't really see why they quote would kill them. I mean, the thing is with Jeffrey Epstein is he was caught, he was in custody, and he was going to face consequences for his crimes. So. You know, it's not the justice system doesn't really work like that. It's like, oh, let's kill him. You know, it's well, he's been caught. He would have been going to jail. That's a fact. So, him killing himself sounds far more likely. But I don't think I don't really see how it matters that much either way. That's what I think.
I think that sounds so true. Though, really, from like. You know, if he was going to be killed by someone, why the hell would they do it in a prison, like after he'd been arrested? You know, if there's going to be some conspiracy, surely it's going to be very covert and, you know, oh my God, he's dead, like, you know, and none of it would have even come out. And you know what I mean? So, yeah, maybe I understand what Bullet Bill means there. You know, why would they take it to that point of allowing so many people to be in such a close vicinity of it? And, you know, and a lot of people do kill themselves in prison in those situations. So yeah, I understand that completely. Actually, Bullet Bill, dude, like, which lends me to the fact that I think he was highly guilty. Then, if you know what I mean, because
I think he was guilty either way. I mean, I think he would have known that, you know, so he would have known that it would have been bad for himself either way. And I think.
I'll be 2 seconds, guys.
Oh yeah, no problem. But you know, I think things like that are probably quite common. You know, in fact, I would say they're very, very common. And in fact, even people that, aren't in that situation, suicide's a very, very big problem. So
it is.
It does, sadly, it does happen a lot, whether people are guilty of things or not.
Oh, sorry, I just got to say, Limey play, I think it was going to jump in, so I was going to add you, sort of at the a moment where I could grab you, mate, but I just noticed you left, so Limey, mate, if you want to jump on, jump back. Bullet Bill, I'm going to leave you as well. I'm going to be back in 30 seconds. So thank you so much for joining, mate. I actually hoped you did this. So, yeah, I'll be back in a second, bud.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, just leave me here. Yeah, I guess. I need to stop coming in because I just get left with the stream. But yeah, I don't really know how it matters. I think he was gonna face consequences for the sort of crimes he did anyway. It's weird how these conspiracies just sort of pop up. People just sort of invent reasons for drawing the dots when there aren't any, I think. Actually, whilst I'm here, we had quite an interesting discussion with WhatsApp, if anyone knows who he is, on Ranty server. That was quite funny. Because he was talking about how you could test if photos are real. You could test if photos are real or fake, and we talked about what those methods are. And in Discord, I was in a call with him, and I said, right, okay, let's use those tests, because he talked about GIMP, and I said, well, I have GIMP. It's an image editing software.
Yeah.
And we tried them out, and none of his tests seemed to work. I think that there's one photo called Earthrise Reimagined that is fake, but that NASA admit is fake. It's kind of like it's like an enhanced version of Earthrise.
Yeah.
And we played with the settings, and he said, "Look, the square. I told you." And you think, yeah, okay, fair enough, but let's do that to another photo of the Earth from space, and you didn't get the weird effects he was talking about. So it's like, what's going on?
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's just. Oh, I mean, they keep coming from nowhere, don't they? Really, if you know what I mean. As soon as it's dying slowly, isn't it? It's kind of filtering away.
It's dying slowly because the ones that are there, will cling on for dear life. They're not.
Yeah.
They're going to. It's an interesting situation actually, because Bev's got a Discord.
Yeah.
So he's in voice all the time in Discord, and so WhatsApp's one of Bev's followers, and occasionally they will kind of like venture out. They kind of build up the courage and be like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna leave the Discord. And I'm gonna go to a globe earther, and I'm gonna show them. And they it never really works out. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
You gotta love Sorry, go on.
I know. I was just gonna say. I think I get that almost daily. Like some new troll that turns up, and they'll try it a couple of times and they're off, but. They must just skip through every channel there is and try and do what they can do. It's
I've had a couple myself. Yeah.
It's
great.
I've just got a quick shout out. Sorry, guys. A super chat from David Oliver for £2. Thank you so much. We are the aliens, which I do agree with. If there is even another life cell out there, like we are aliens.
Sounds like a Queen song. Oh,
we are aliens. Let's do it. I might do a song with conspiracy
Andrew Clark to do it. Andrew Clark, he's a good guy. Get Andrew Clark to do it. He's brilliant. He does like if you see Conspiracy Cats' last video, Cats' last video, that's him. He does
when
the
he
music.
done a song. Yes, I did see that. That was brilliant.
What a talented kind of guy that is. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
I follow him on Twitter, and he's really funny.
I'm gonna see what else I've got written down here. I'll be interested to see what I don't know what conspiracy, if any. I'm going to ask both of you this: what conspiracy, if any, do you think may have legs, Mr. Jones? If you may.
There's a couple. I think Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy. I think that JFK was definitely murdered by his own people. And Marilyn Monroe definitely was murdered. I don't think she took her own life at all. Those are probably the big two. I've read a non-biased biography. I can't remember who wrote it now, but he wrote a warts and all biography on Marilyn Monroe, and no singing. Oh, shocking! You're very talented here. Let me play again. I think he deserves a red now.
Red card, Limey, right? I'm taking your spanner away. No, I'm only joking.
But yeah, I think Marilyn Monroe was definitely murdered, and I think it's a difficult one. The murder of JFK, I think, was definitely done by his own people.
Wow.
Lee Harvey Oswald was definitely a patsy, and Jack Ruby just happened to be there with a gun that murdered Lee Harvey Oswald. Come on now. Lee Harvey Oswald was murdered because, he was going to say something, probably. And that's probably the only two. I mean, we all know about MK Ultra, but that's not really a conspiracy anymore, is it? Because we all know about it. And so yeah, those are probably the two. Marilyn Monroe,
but actually, to be honest, I was more or less always along the lines of JFK was taken out and things. But from what Bullet Bill said earlier about why would Epstein have been taken out in prison, it's almost one of them things again. Why would you do that? Do you know what I mean? Who in their right mind would say we're going to do it in this situation? If you know what I mean. But then are they double bluffing you? This is the CIA, so are they double bluffing you? So you're to that point and going, of course they would never do that.
If you're going to do something like that, why not do it big? I mean, you can't murder the president in secret, like in the White House or what have you. You've got to do it before the rest of the world, and then blame somebody else for it. That's probably one of the things why it swayed me so much, is that if you're going to do something like that, do it when everybody's watching it, and then blame somebody, and then kill that somebody, and it's all confusing and tied up. But I think do it big. I mean, the Americans
people are crazy. If presidents have been assassinated by members of the general public before that as well, haven't they? If you know what I mean. But there's no reason why, just because you are this close or whatever. I don't know. I mean, is it one of those things though where, how many people would have to know about it? So there must have been a shooter.
I mean,
there was even talk of a second. Does it get to that point where far too many people would have to know about it for no real hard evidence to come out? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know or care that much about the JFK conspiracy thing, but all I would say is, let's say that was me if I wanted to kill JFK back then. Obviously hypothetical, but if that were me, I would want to do it when as little attention as possible was on the president, because the one thing I wouldn't want to happen at all, under any circumstances, is I get caught, because then I'm going to prison for probably the rest of my life. So I would do I would take every possible step to make that as unlikely as possible. And if by killing him that way is pretty much the opposite. Do you know what I mean? You're taking you're almost taking every step to bring attention to the, there's going to be evidence, there's going to be eyes over security, blah blah blah. I think in terms of for me though, now I don't know where we're going to draw the line with conspiracy. In terms of like what most people consider conspiracy, honestly, I don't think any of them have legs. Unfortunately, that's just genuinely what I think. But the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi would probably be the closest that I come. So that was the journalist.
I've never heard of it, to be honest.
Have you heard of it? If you haven't heard of it, it's a journalist in, I think it was in Saudi Arabia, who was assassinated, and the Saudi Crown Prince is probably likely involved with that, and they've denied all wrongdoing, but it's one of those things where it sounds sounds very dodgy. But I think that's one of the ones where it's kind of like there's almost too much evidence to. I mean, where do you draw the line between conspiracy and kind of like something that you have evidence for? But I would say that, but. Yeah, I mean, it's not clear cut. It's not as if there was sort of clear, irrefutable evidence, then that would be a different thing. But do you know what I mean? There's some circumstantial evidence, so there's probably just enough for them to get away with that if they did it. And it would help that they've got a lot of power and a lot of money and a lot of influence. But you know what I mean?
That is the thing, innit? I mean, even like say, just everything. But like a conspiracy theorist will believe in everything. Like say a flat earther, they literally are going to believe in chemtrails. They're going to believe like anti-vax. They're going to be COVID deniers. Like most of the time, and they don't see it, do they? That they don't see that they literally, they say like us guys, oh, you just follow the BBC. Which, ironically, Mr. Jones here is the complete opposite of that. Like, there's more news outlets out there than the BBC. No, and you just think, for God's sake, like, you are just following anything that is against mainstream. You could make up any conspiracy now. Yeah. And if this, if enough people heard it enough times, sheep. Yeah,
and we're the sheep, and they will follow any conspiracy going, and it's us that's the sheep. I don't get it at all. They believe anything.
My favourite. Sorry, Mr. Jones, but if I cut you off, tell me off because I talk a lot. But
no, same here. Same.
But one of the best ones was when Professor Dave was doing a video, and he was talking about the fact that flat earthers always say that we've all been brainwashed. And he says, the funny thing is when you're trying to brainwash someone, that's the first thing that you say, is that you've all been brainwashed by everyone else. So you're nice and receptive to the brainwashing. And it's true.
So, I think that's the top 10 things that all flat earthers say, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
his video on that. I love Professor Dave. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
He demolished Kent Hovind in that debate. The debate of the day with Kent Hovind, he completely destroyed him.
Oh yes, him and Conspiracy Cats.
Conspiracy Cats obliterated him.
Absolutely ruined him. It was so funny.
It's
those
crazy
were two
because you got
best, sort of evolution debates I've seen.
Yeah, and Aaron Ra as well. Aaron Ra destroyed him on the non-sexual, and it's strange because I've never seen anybody with Kent Hovind. I've never seen anybody with that unbelievable level of narcissism. It is mind-boggling. That man has not changed his script in 20 years. Evolution teaches that we all came from rocks, and no, it doesn't. And you've been told this time and time again. It does not teach that. You don't think that dinosaurs fired themselves to death? No, we don't think that either. Oh,
it's just
I'd love to debate him. If I knew enough, I'd love to debate him, but I wouldn't do evolution justice because I don't know enough about it.
I would happily any day of the week. Bring it on, Ken.
Actually, Bullet Bill, I've had Bullet Bill, mate. I've had BB message me again, and he's really up for a debate. So let's set this up.
Absolutely. Is it? I assume COVID stuff.
Yes. And he said basically the world is, let's just set it up. So obviously, I think by his timing, though, mate, if it's possible, it might have to be at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday or something like that, if you're free, because of where he lives. But
I can. So if BB, you could pass on to BB. I don't think he's watching, but if it's the case that I can do it, well, you probably wouldn't want to do morning, but yeah, I can be somewhat. I'm happy to be somewhat flexible because I know he's in Australia. I think it is. He lives in something.
Yes.
What's your level of education, Bill? If you don't mind me asking.
What
do you expert in?
I've got a biology degree, and that's it. It's just an undergrad degree, but I know.
So how did life begin?
So how did life begin?
Yeah, not how life began. Abiogenesis.
Abiogenesis. Okay, so abiogenesis describes how using the chemical constituents that were around in the early Earth, basically very simple biomolecules can be created, not with living things, of course, because you didn't have living things, but
so life from non-life.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But with things like chemical reactions, with wetting and drying, with things like lightning, all sorts of things like that. You see, so with processes like that, sort of biomolecules like lipids, like amino acids, carbohydrates, things like that, can actually potentially form in these prebiotic conditions if the conditions are just right. And if you have enough of those chemical reactions come about, you could eventually come across some systems that will build more of these biomolecules. So, for example, in chemistry, you can have chemical reactions that kind of self-propagate. They make themselves go faster. Like when you burn something, the heat from the chemical reaction will speed up more chemical reactions, so it just keeps going like that. It's pretty complicated. I'm not going to pretend I understand all of it, but it's a fascinating field of science. It really is.
So you're going with self-replicating RNA?
It more than likely would have been RNA, but the thing is that RNA, because of how this is, RNA would have actually been pretty late in the process, if that makes sense. Do you see what I mean? To even get to a nucleotide,
because
would have been
before that, isn't there?
Do you see what I mean?
But
it's to understand that, like the chemistry, especially involved, is very tough. Professor Dave actually did a very good video on that. There's a lot more science than even I thought with abiogenesis research, and it's very difficult because obviously we've just got so little to go on. But it's astounding how much progress has actually been made with abiogenesis. So yeah, it's really interesting. Sorry, go on.
No, it's fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, is the fact that, let's say, like, things at a certain point, they're not going to leave fossils, are they? You know what I mean? There's not going to be any real fossil record of things. Like it just gets to a cut-off point where.
I mean,
unless sorry, go on.
Unless you've got a sort of substantial amount of sort of living matter, you're not really going to get any kind of fossils. So we just don't have it. We just don't have anything. And the thing is, even if these processes, because these same processes could feasibly be going on right now, there's no way of really telling, because any sort of like basic biomolecule that gets made up from just chemical processes, a living organism will just be like, oh, I'll take that then, So it's a completely different world we live in.
Have you? There's a lot of study recently that's gone into like fungus and like fungi and things like that, and like the underground networks that they have, and the kind of the impact that they have on the actual biology of forest and things. And I think that's quite amazing, really. And I read something, and it even said that they can more or less control their own evolution, if you know what I mean. Like there's a certain point. I mean, I know that's a bold statement, and I'm kind of just saying that out of nowhere, but I need to find where I read that. But this kind of fungus has got to that point where it literally kind of controls its environment, and it's just next level in certain aspects.
It sounds fast. Yeah, no, you have to send me that if you find me it. The one thing I do know that's weird about fungi, because we know fungi is mushrooms, and we've all seen mushrooms. The thing that most people don't know though is that's just one part of the mushroom. It's only the reproductive bit. The vast majority of it are like hyphae that grow underneath, sort of like these almost like veins. And what's weird about fungi though is you can have multiple individual fungi, and they can grow along and kind of almost fuse with themselves, and they can share nuclei and things like that. So it's really weird, because then you can say, oh, is that one fungi? Was that once two? It just blurs the line, and you can get these huge, interconnected fungi. It's really fascinating.
Apparently, even trees communicate via like the fungi networks underground. Like they kind of
really.
Literally, like that's kind of like the neural network of like like trees, and like literally like where all the nutrients and the plant life is like communicating with each other via these networks, apparently. If you know what I mean? It's crazy when you actually look into it, but it is like the diversity and things, and man-made things, they can last a while, but if you leave a city empty, it will get taken over. It will literally just
definitely.
There won't be nothing left.
But I love that stuff.
In the chat. Join if you want to join, Gary, mate. We can talk about God or flat Earth. That's completely up to you. Either or. I think we're quite well suited and booted with Mr. Jones and Bullet Bill. But yeah, no, I love this kind of chat about, and I think it was you, Bullet Bill, before. Did you say or not that the theory of evolution is more solid than the theory of gravity?
Yeah, it is.
It is pretty much. I mean, it's just the fact that you could take the DNA from any organism, and it will match up to what the theory of evolution predicts is. I mean, that's a lot.
You can extrapolate it back, can't you? And you can extrapolate it back and find out, your common ancestor, can't you?
Yes.
Whereas with gravity, we don't know how it's generated. We don't know where it comes from. We just know it's there. We don't see gravity. We see the effects of gravity, don't we?
Gravity,
it's like wind.
It's just not as tangible. So it's we do know a decent amount about gravity, but it's very hard. We just don't have the abundance of evidence the same way with evolution. Fossils is the same thing. I mean, the fossil evidence used to be when Charles Darwin was first proposing this theory. People going, where's all these fossils that you're talking about? Because there weren't much, and it was a bit strenuous.
Well, 2 years later we found them, didn't we?
Yeah, but now we found a lot, and
then
that's
Eric Jabay will come in and go,
you can see it. So sorry,
but Eric Jabay will come in and go like, oh, so how convenient. There was the Darwin came along, and then there was all these empty holes. And suddenly, out of nowhere, all these fossils.
Well, there's absolutely nothing more empirical than making a prediction and that prediction coming true. We can predict a lunar eclipse using, we can predict a lunar eclipse. We can predict a solar eclipse to the nearest second and where it will happen. Yeah. And it happens. We can predict where in the geologic column we'll find these fossils, and we find these fossils in a particular strata or a particular level of geologic column, and it all comes true. And if you're like Ken Torvind and you think that dinosaurs lived with man, where are the fossils of ancient man with dinosaurs? They're never found in the same place, are they? So straight away, Kent, if you're listening,
where are the dinosaur saddles? Do you know what I mean? Like, surely we'd have been riding on dinosaurs.
We rode dinosaurs. We milked them like Luke Skywalker did on The Last Jedi. We saw some sunbathing on a beach and we milked their boobies. And
I mean, where are the cars without the floor? That you power with your feet. I mean,
yeah, he comes up with that, doesn't he? He says a car in a tornado. How it doesn't get. Yes, but Kent, those cars are not having babies, are they? So they are.
That's a classic. I mean, it's basically I can't remember his name. The watchmaker argument.
Yeah. Well, yeah, somebody made this watch. I can't see him, but he made it. And
I think the thing that everyone gets wrong is that we live in a world where we've made so much stuff, and so we're used to seeing a lot of things that are like, someone's made this monitor, someone's made this laptop, someone's made this car. We're surrounded by things that we have made, so that if we see something that's complicated, our first instinct is, well, surely someone's made it, because that's how. That's the only really way we can comprehend that, but that's not necessarily true, So it's getting away from that idea that
But snowflakes are formed spontaneously, so is everything spontaneously formed?
Exactly, and that has a very beautiful, very organised, very deliberate structure. But it's not. That's just how snowflakes work. That's just how. Yeah.
So
I love this thing recently. Actually, it's a bit out of the park a little bit, but this Neil deGrasse Tyson thing the other day about I think it's dark matter, and it's kind of, what does it say, 70% of the universe, and a lot of the gravity, I think, is caused by this or that, and it's never been detected. And this kind of ding 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 comes up into a flat earther's head, what pseudoscience, you're making this stuff up. You're saying gravity comes from something that you've never seen it, and it must be there. But then the way Neil deGrasse Tyson explained it was kind of say how there are certain things that don't react with our world, if you know what I mean. So say a phone signal, it goes through your walls, it doesn't have to knock on the door and ask to get through. It just goes straight through without any care in the world. And there may well still, and probably well are, things that we can't see, but they are there, and the way it kind of explained it like that was it went into my little simple brain a little bit, where even now I know that there are particles that I can't see, but they physically act upon my universe, like microwaves heating up my meal. And, because I can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, So, yeah, kind of, sorry, I just had to say that in a way, and was just kind of, that's one of them ding, ding,
why don't
ding,
they make that argument with God as well? Just because they can't see God doesn't mean they make that argument against us, and then they say, and then if you fire it back at them and say, well, you can't see God, so does that mean he's not there as well? It's just a theory. The Bible is just a theoretical book.
It's very reactionary as well, I think, is the other thing, because it's jumping. It's almost like jumping to conclusions. It's like, oh my God, dark matter, they're just making stuff up. They don't know. No, calm down. That's not the case.
No.
We don't understand as much of it as we would like, but we do understand it to a certain degree. We do have evidence for it. Do you see what I mean? So it's not. There's a huge difference between we don't know and we have some evidence for, but we need to do some more work. There's a huge difference between them.
It's like the Oort cloud as well. We've never photographed that, but we know it's there. The thing that's just outside the solar system, we know it's there, but we've never photographed it.
Yeah, it's another one of those examples where we've got some evidence for it, but it's not evidence for it to the extent that we're like, yep, Oort cloud, definitely, yep, this is how it works. We've got it down. So it's still in that it's in that area of science where we don't know it for certain yet, but that's not a bad thing. That's exciting because. Who knows? Maybe it turns out to be different. Maybe it turns out to be something else. So
that's the thing, actually, with even say the theory of evolution. Flat earthers will go, "Oh my god, it's just a theory." They've literally just made it up, plucked out of the air. But obviously, scientifically, a theory is literally the best answer possible at that very moment, isn't it? Basically, that's as far as I can understand. But it also means. If you can explain it even better than that, then we'll check and we'll change it to that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not like the fact of gravity, nothing can ever change. It's
if
like,
you've made it to
this is
theory.
what we know.
Yeah, if you made it to theory, then
if you've made it to theory, then that's very, very
because it's already been tested, hasn't it? It's already been peer reviewed by many people.
Because and the other thing, by the way, scientists don't just lie down and be like, yeah, that seems legit. No, scientists will try with every fibre of their being to say that is bullshit. My theory is better.
Oh,
believe you me, they will go after that. They will test it. They will read. They will do the things that they've done. Try and reproduce it. They will challenge it. So. For it to still be there, it would have had to have survived.
Yeah, I think it's the toughest. It's the toughest, like, ego test, if you will. It's the toughest test that you can find, isn't it? With especially with scientists, because I don't know of any scientists that don't try and outdo each other, or try and get one-upmanship on another scientist. I don't know anything. Maybe back in the day it wasn't so much like that, but it was actually with Newton. He was, he was a bit of a thief, wasn't he, with ideas and stuff.
Well, he had a feud with Robert Hooke, and I think what was it happened with him? I think he had this huge fight, and Robert Hooke was a very, very brilliant scientist of his own right. It's just the fact that the other cool thing I like about science, though, is that the evidence is brutal, and it will just the evidence does whatever the hell the evidence is what it is, and if it's showing that your theory is incorrect, then there's nothing you can do about it.
No,
you're wrong. There was what's the Feynman speech?
But then
the Feynman speech?
Oh, Richard Feynman.
Yeah.
What a legend!
I can't remember.
But I mean, how, like, if the evidence is so strong, how do these people deny it? What if to say you, Bullet Bill, you, Mr. Jones, like, evidence is evidence. What point in their brain is stopping them from actually looking at that and saying, "Do you know what? I'm wrong." Do you know what I mean? Like that. It just shows you that most people are more worried about their own truth than the truth, if you know what I mean. They'd rather stay on their little journey. There's people out there that it's as simple as following horoscopes and mostly harmless stuff. They kind of look into their horoscopes maybe, but it just kind of just gets worse and worse and worse. But I don't know. Maybe
like
people
Gary,
are
like
just
Gary Wybenga, for example. It doesn't matter what I say to him, what I show him. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure. I mean, obviously, never say never. On the one hand, never say never. But on the other hand, I'm pretty sure no matter what I do, Gary will still think what he thinks.
Yeah.
So it's because the problem is with flat Earth is it teaches two things: one, flat Earth; two, how to deny, basic facts. So they will know. They have their methods of dealing. It's because every time we always make the mistake. Oh,
is that your missus, Mr. Jones? What a legend! Oh, bring him a pint. Look at that.
She doesn't want to be on camera, bless her. She's just turned up about 5 minutes ago.
What a legend. Thank you, Mrs. Jones.
Nice.
She's great. She's gorgeous.
That's sweet. Yeah, she's lovely.
Oh,
but
brilliant.
yeah, I understand what you mean about that, because it's just simple denialism. They will not wreck their own beliefs, and they will not, nothing will change their minds. I think with you, STST, I think you was in two minds anyway. I don't think you may not have been convinced the Earth was flat. I still think you had doubts, and that's why you were swayed back, back to the globe side. I think with people like Howard George Stirrup, I think there's. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I think there's something wrong with him, and I don't want to mean. I don't want to mean it funny. I don't want to mean it insulting or anything. But that guy should get himself checked out. And I think he should spend a good few months in a padded cell with those nice men with white coats on. And but the thing is with him, he would no matter, like what Bill said earlier on, no matter what you say to the guy, he's going to deny absolutely everything. He's got his worldview set in his mind, and if anything shifts from that, he's absolutely frightened to death. Because if he loses that, what else is he going to lose? Is he going to lose, the rest of his mind, and et cetera, et cetera? But with most flat earthers and conspiracy whack, I think they're trolling. I think most of them are not genuine in what they believe.
You're totally right when you said, I had a doubt, and I think that's why I came back. If you know what I mean, there definitely always was a doubt, and the guy like you mentioned before. He may have extra problems other than just flat Earth, and flat Earth definitely is not going to help. When you are in that kind of, I fully 100% believed it. I'm not sitting here saying I was not a full believer.
Yeah,
I 100% believed it. I was preaching that, but there was still this inkling of doubt, if you know what I mean. And that is what just kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually I snapped, if you know what I mean. But I think most
triggered it, didn't he?
Oh, he did, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
He triggered something in there that made you think to yourself, well, hang on a minute, you might be right here. And let's delve into it further, and let's see some evidence. Exactly the same with Ranty as well. I mean, you both sound really intelligent guys. Ranty, for all his faults, he sounds, despite the fact he was born in Blackburn, or Blackpool or whatever, he's obviously not, he's not of my level of intelligence, because I was born in Bolton, and he's not at my level of evolution either.
I'm nowhere near, of course.
Nowhere near. But, he sounds a really intelligent guy. You sound a really intelligent guy. And I think with that kind of person, I think there's always hope. But with people who are unbelievably thick and stupid and moronic, like Nathan Oakley or Sleeping Warrior, with those kinds of people, not so much Oakley, Riley, yes, because I do think he's stupid, and I think purposely stupid as well. He knows he's being stupid, but he won't change from being stupid, if you know what I mean. With Oakley, he's just doing it for the money, and that's an end to it. But
is what you think?
Yeah, definitely. With Oakley, I think he's definitely doing it for money. I think Riley's doing it because he likes an argument, and I think Spurs Kemore's doing it because he said the Earth is flat once. He got a bit of attention, and now he can't stop himself. I think he's trolling.
But I mean,
I think he's a Paul.
I know definitely a lot of, even when I fell into flat Earth, it was definitely looking for attention, if you know what I mean. That is definitely one of the reasons.
Yeah.
But one thing I do struggle with actually is definitely with me, when I was a flat earther, I think I had 126 subscribers. And it wasn't until I actually left flat earth that my channel, started to grow a little bit. So Ranty as well, he's already at the amount of subscribers that it took him 5 years to create.
Yeah, he's doing really well, Ranty.
if you know what I mean. So why are these flat earthers, even if they're faking it, why are they not thinking to themselves, hang on a minute, like I could now get back in the real world, you know, stop faking that I'm a flat earther. I could have more views, more subs, and if you know what I mean,
more Spondulix.
Yeah, more Spondulix. Like, you know, so why are they not doing that? Like,
you see, I am still not convinced that any of these flat earthers are quote pose or something like that. I think the problem is with that. The problem is with that is there's a few problems with that. Is the thing for attention, blah blah blah. You can do flat Earth for attention and still think the Earth is flat. That's still that doesn't have to be their only motivation. And I think that because if you think about the people that definitely have been quote pose or whatever, Logan Paul for example. I mean, how long did he do that for? Not very, very long at all.
No,
he did it. He created the controversy. He got his jokes. He made fun, and then after that, he's through with it. So if that's what you're gonna do, you're not gonna invest that much time into it. Let's put it that way. It's not gonna be your way of life. And to a lot of these flat earthers, it's a way of life, and there's no way, you know, there's no way it would be worth it to troll or whatever like that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean,
it's impossible. It's kind of impossible to prove either way unless they say, "Oh, I'm faking it."
But I think Oakley admitted it once, though. I'm pretty sure Oakley admitted it that he was doing it for the money.
He said that something was, don't show this. It's perfect globe proof or something like that. I don't. He did say that. I'm not convinced that is evidence that he's faking it. But that's just what I think. I think he could deny it, but also say, they will use that as globe proof. So that therefore he's going to call it globe proof.
Yeah, he could do. You could take something out of context like that, couldn't you?
But yeah, I can see it either way. I can definitely see the argument for Oakley, but you know,
it's still not definitive, is it?
I think there's some genuine ones out there.
It's almost impossible to tell. In my opinion, it's going to almost be impossible to tell unless they literally say, I don't actually believe this. I'm just faking it, blah, blah, blah. But there you go. That is what it is. For whatever reason they've decided to be flat earthers. So,
the thing that convinced me with Oakley is when he did the Vice interview. that was the main thing that convinced me that he's got to be lying. There is nobody this stupid. They just can't.
I mean, I just think obviously he's religious as well, isn't he? You know, he is. He's like Christian, and you know, so he's double whammy. And it is difficult to.
We're going to get all stripped down now, aren't we?
I never had that. You know, I wanted creationism, but I never found it. But like, say, people like Oakley and, you know, Gary Wybenger, you know, they're going to mention God and, you know, it's all God's plan.
Yeah, and that's fair enough.
And the God must be pretty weak.
Yeah, but what I say to religious people who believe in flat Earth and everything, and they ask us for proof of flat Earth. For globe Earth. And I said, well, where's for God? You can't ask me for proof. Say that God created everything, and then turn around and ask me for proof when you can't even prove that your God exists. Why does God, who created everything in 6 days, the stars, the planets, human beings, absolutely every living thing on this planet, why does he need a man to build him a boat to house all the animals in that need to survive a flood that he created in the first place? God can create man. God can create man if God exists, but God needs man to build him things. And to me,
we've got
contradiction.
Matt Arnson, STST. I'm a Christian, but I also am not outright an idiot. 2,000 years is a long time to learn new things. There's actually a high. I was quite shocked myself one time actually when I think I put a poll out or something. And literally, over 30-40% of my subscribers were actually of Christian or Muslim belief, and I was quite surprised by that, shall I say? But also, I really like it, because I, like anyone on the stream, don't just sit here and go, "Oh, it's all fake, it's all crap." Like, but want to be logical and kind of just speak with people, and I really do love the fact that
a lot of scientists are Christians, aren't they? A lot of scientists believe in Christianity.
I mean, I think that's
up to them.
There's a point, I think, where I now know, after leaving Flat Earth, I'm not going to believe something without like real physical evidence now. So I'm not going to believe in any type of God or creation, but I also will not say no, it does not or cannot exist, if you know what I mean. But it's highly unlikely in my eyes, and it's definitely nothing like anyone on Earth's ever imagined. If it even is possible, or even is reality, if you know what I mean. Like,
I think it has to go. I think belief in God has to go way beyond our imagination. If
human comprehension,
if an omnipotent being can create everything in 6 days and make the stars billions and billions of light years and make everything, but why would a deity, why would a God create everything in 6 days and leave us all these clues that point us towards evolution, and leave us all these clues that point us towards the Big Bang? Is he playing tricks?
Very good point.
What is he? What is he like? Is this God a practical joker? Is God Jeremy Beadle? Big shout out to Jeremy Beadle, by the way. Big shout out to the Game of Laugh people.
But that's the stream title, STST. God is Jeremy Beadle ?
God is God is put a poll out. God is Jeremy Beadle. Do you know I have got a Jeremy
here. Sorry guys.
Go on.
No, Mr. Jones, you carry on, buddy.
No, I was just saying. I did have a Jeremy Beadle clock once, but it only had one hand. Sorry.
Oh, let's all cancel. Mr. Jones.
Sorry.
Let's cancel him.
I am
no, you're all right, mate. You're okay.
For people of the younger generation who don't remember Jeremy Beadle, he had half his hand missing. He was born like that. But he's dead now, so he can't hear me.
I barely remember him. I'm just kind of just about old enough. But I can't remember that he had no fingers.
It's a terrible joke. I'm so sorry.
You're all right, mate. You're okay. We'll forgive. I knew you were going to come in handy at one point tonight.
Oh God.
I'm joking, mate. I was just trying to make it so I'm more cringeworthy than you.
Yeah,
I just had to go worse. Oh, dude, no worries, mate. We've got a super chat from Night God. Knock 50. Thank you very much. Is the feeling of being intelligent smarter greater than actually being intelligent smart for FEs and other conspiracies? Yes, because it's the easy way. I'm speaking as an ex-conspiracy theorist here. To just say, no, the Earth's flat. No one's ever measured the curve. No one ever takes anything into account. All the pilots are wrong. All the navigators are wrong. It's so easy, All you've got to learn is just go, no. And then suddenly you to an outsider, you can look intelligent because you just go, no, you're wrong. You're indoctrinated. And
easy to believe a lie, isn't it? I think.
Easy pickings, isn't it, to follow conspiracies?
The thing with intelligent, whatever you want to, people, is that mostly the reason these people are intelligent and they know a lot about certain things is because they're really interested by it and they're passionate, and so that and so they learn a lot of stuff, and almost all of the time that isn't because they want to walk around and go, haha, look at me, I know lots of. It's because they love to learn these things, and the sort of respect that they get from that is a side product of the hard work that they've done, That's not something
Totally
that they. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Most of the time, these aren't egotistical people. These are just people that like to learn. Whereas flat earthers and other conspiracies, they start. It's from the bottom up. You know, they start with look at me, look at how intelligent I am, but they haven't done the work to get there. But instead, and they still think they deserve the
and they also
the respect, and they
also get
don't.
science backwards, don't they? They start off with the conclusion first. The Earth is flat, and then they work backwards from that, and they never ever get it right. You know, they say things like, well, it looks flat, so therefore it is, and I'm going to start off with that hypothesis, and nothing's going to sway me at all, no matter what evidence that they're being presented with. It's amazing. Like Stirrup before, he said that you can see streetlights from 20 miles away. I've shown him that he can't see streetlights from 20 miles away because it's on Google Maps, it's just under 18 miles away. And another guy has done a really comprehensive thing, and he's even done a website on it. He's actually seen streetlights that are a lot closer, and he still won't listen. The Dunning-Kruger in that man is astounding.
Well, it's like we've said. It's frustratingly, it doesn't really matter what you show. Even if you show him literally that he's wrong, it doesn't matter.
I could staple his ass to a rocket, put a mask on him and everything, and staple his ass to a rocket and send him up there with some goggles on. And, obviously I'll give him the COVID jab first so he doesn't get the COVID. And then, have him photograph it from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 miles up. And he'll just say, well, I was drugged.
But,
they put me under. They hypnotized me.
All jokes aside, what Mr. Jones said, I 100% believe that. All jokes aside, I think if you, and this would be true for so many flat earthers, I feel that even if hypothetically you took them, I don't know what, the ISS maybe, something like that, and they could see for themselves, I still think they will come up with something that's
drugs or they were hypnotized when I think it was the A-team where they drug BA that get on the flight, and then suddenly the day after they're appearing in a different country.
I don't know, shape of the windows,
shape of the windows
outside, they're monitored
my eyes are round.
They'll come up with something.
Yeah, my eyes are round, so the Earth looks round.
Yeah,
that's one of the favourites I've heard.
The stuff with Shatner. I mean, bloody
what a guy!
90 years old, 90 years old, and like the excuses people are coming out with, and they're going like, why is everyone else floating about in that capsule and he's just like staring, looking out the window, and you're like, because he wanted to look at the bloody view. Do you know what I mean? He's not worried about doing cartwheels. Like, it's fucking
so the dumbest argument is I think this should happen and it's not.
Yeah.
Why isn't this happening? Why should
Level Earth Observer?
You just invented that rule, dude.
Level Earth Observer is the main culprit for that one. I've done that guy so many times. It's untrue. And
it's like, would you like tea or coffee? Oh, I'll have some tea. Why didn't you drink the coffee?
Yeah, why?
you didn't drink the coffee. The coffee's poisoned. Why didn't you?
Yeah. And I always hear like on the ISS. Stop making
up rules and
yeah. Like apparently, like say on the ISS there might be like a plate of food or something, and someone's like seen the picture and they've said, "Why is that food not all floating about everywhere?" And they go, "Well, something's only moving because you've given it a force to move. There's it's at rest on the table, so there is no reason for it to be floating around. And no, and they just move on to something else. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Well, it's like when we debunked Rachie shared a load of videos of the ISS and we just debunked them in the stream. Do you remember that? Yeah. And it was like, well,
yeah. Oh, there's going to be a debate soon, actually. FTFE versus Rachie, and I am going to be the moderator.
Oh, God.
I'm going to be on FTFE's channel. I'm going to be moderating. And it's going to be Rachie. That's awesome, though. Rachie and FTFE.
Do you know, I'm going to say something really controversial now. I watched FTFE with Rachie, the last debate that they had. and Rachel actually performed pretty well. She held not with the evidence that she presented, because she didn't present any, but it was the way that she performed, and she held FTFE to account and questioned him on absolutely everything that he said. And to me, I think that's a good debate tactic. Whether or not you agree with it, but I think that's a good debate tactic in the way that, because she held him to account and because she questioned him on everything, she didn't have to present any evidence herself. So she took all the attention away from herself, gave it all to FTFE, and he had to answer absolutely everything because she held him to account all the time. Whether it's a good debate tactic, I don't know, but
I'm going to remain impartial. I do actually have like my own opinions, and I will let them out after the debate. But at the minute, like, I'll just kind of sit here, because I don't want to just sit here just having a go at Rachel. Do you know what I mean? If I'm going to be a moderator,
my advice would be, absolutely step in, including on FTFE.
Yeah.
And 1 point at a time. I think that's the best thing you could say.
Yeah.
Say, right, 1 point at a time. Because the other thing that with the debate they had before was that they ran over the same point over and over. It just cycled and cycled.
I've already mentioned that, actually. I've already said that to FTFE, so I'm going to have some more like topics. So, of course, they're going to want to talk about a bit of gravity and that other nonsense that they equilibrium or whatever. But like
relative density disequilibrium,
other things. So other questions, moderated questions.
Don't be afraid to step in and say, right, I think you've said your piece about gravity, and Rachel said what she thinks. I haven't. There's nothing new being brought to the table, so let's move on to. Do you see what I mean? Because otherwise, it's just because it was so circular. The debate we saw.
It did. Yeah,
and you got to a point where you're like, nothing more productive is going to happen. So
I won't let, like, I literally, because I saw that. Yeah, I saw that whole first debate. I will not allow that to happen again. I actually would. I want to bring it back down to the Earth's surface. People are getting lost in gravity at the minute, and at the end of the day, this is supposedly a debate about the shape of the planet.
If it's the shape of the Earth, keep them to topic, because gravity has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. I mean,
well, the irony is that gravity is a problem for flat Earth, but the hilarious irony is, I think most flat Earthers don't even understand why it's a problem. They just know that gravity is a problem, and we can't admit it.
If it attracts things to the centre of its mass, then you're going to be walking like that. You're going to be walking like that at the centre of the Earth, and then gradually you're going to be walking in the diagonal fashion the further you go out, aren't you?
Yeah.
So that's why flat Earth is just simply denied.
And that shape sort of wouldn't be able to sustain itself.
It wouldn't
collapse it. So that's why it's a problem. I don't know if Rachel realises this. I suspect she might do, but I don't know. I think
she does some really wonderful
Rachel's
exercises.
Debate,
I've seen Mr. 42. Big shout out to Mr. 42, by the way, my favourite Mr. 42.
Legend.
He did a short video where Rachel was doing some exercises or something and dropping something
there and bending down.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Actually, God bless Rachel. She's got a nice bum on her. I'll give her that. Shout out to Rachel, by the way. I'm not single, so don't bother trying.
Yeah.
I've the thing is Rachel though. That anyone could debate and follow that strategy of, I'm going to keep asking questions, and you will always win, because you could just ask a question.
Yeah, of course you could. Yeah,
just ask a question. Just ask another question. It's like the annoying kid that's like, why,
yeah,
why, and they're just whatever answer you'll say. Oh, why is that? And it's just, you'll always win, because you'll always find a point where you can't answer the question. That doesn't necessarily mean you've won anything. That just means you're just asking questions about stuff.
As soon as you can't answer a question, flat earthers will go, whoa, gotcha.
Exactly.
Right, Earth is flat. End of debate. I've won. Up yours. and all the rest of it. And
exactly.
And it doesn't. Debates don't work like that.
Yeah.
Even
one of the
main
reasons to debate is to actually listen, isn't it? Like that's the whole reason of a debate, is to take in what that other person is saying, and actually listen to it. You know, like
absolutely
that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think you can ever win a debate. I just look at it like this: when I debate somebody, I mean, I've never done it online. I've done it like many years ago. But when I debate somebody, because I know I'm not going to change the mind of my opponent, because why are they in the debate in the first place? They shouldn't be there. My aim is to convince those people who are sitting on the fence in the audience and say to them, like, you know, this is my evidence. I hope it's good enough to convince you that my evidence is good enough. And that's what my thing would be. Because if you debate a flat earther, you're never going to change the mind. You're not going to do it in like 90 minutes. FTFE is not going to change Rach's mind in 90 minutes. And it's just a given. But you can change the mind of some of those who are sitting on the fence in the audience. You can do that.
You can.
And I think that's what FTFE's aim should be. And Mr. Sensible did really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, you know, a lot of people call FTFE out and say it's a bit too harsh, and you know, but I think it's horses.
Yeah. He can cut some of the name calling out because he sneaks in a lot of insults under the radar, and he does it very slyly. I mean, I love the guy to bits. Don't get me wrong, I really do. I think he's an amazing guy. He's in fact one of the first channels that I watched, but he sneaks a lot of insults in under the radar.
You know, it's one of those where you either like it or you don't. Do you know what I mean? It's Marmite, isn't it? It's either amazing. Yeah, you know.
I wish he'd do more videos. I love his videos.
I want to stand up from a little bit though, where people kind of say, "Oh, well, he doesn't do a lot of the flat earthers any good," but I know that he does the people on the fence probably more good than the other debunkers that don't take the piss.
Yeah, I think
because a lot of us have got a sense of humour, and we're more likely to be caught by a joke actually than probably a bit of evidence. And you know, when you've just got people like FTFE going, "What a fucking idiot." You know, and it probably just snaps people back into reality a bit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the normal average Joe, you know, before they get caught up in the, you know, so there's definitely a place there for people like FTFE. You know what I mean? Any, you know, there might be a point where maybe, like you say, no flat earther's going to convert live on his stream.
No.
Probably he's going to push them further into it. To be honest,
well, actually, that's happened once that I remember.
Oh, has it?
Yes.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes. I'll see if I can find the video and send it to you. But yeah,
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it has.
Wow. I never knew that.
Like I said, I mean, I think it's very, very rare. I don't think it's because, no offense to FTFE, but I don't think it's because he's anything special. I just think it's one of those rare occurrences where there was a flat earther that genuinely was open, and he not confrontational, you know, willing to hear what FTFE has said, and just open and honestly said, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that seems which was interesting because it's not usually how these debates go, so it was a bit of an odd one.
No, it ends up like sometimes as a dumpster fire, and I used to like the dumpster fires. I'm not a big fan of them now, but yeah, I love watching these debates.
I go in and out, sort of depending on my mood. Like, you know, if I'm a bit angry or something, I'm like, do you know what? I could help. I actually seek them out. I've been like FTFE dumpster fire, but like then there's other times when I'm kind of like, oh, I'm not ready for this at the minute. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather someone that's gonna, you know, talk from another perspective and things. So,
something that's going to make me learn something. That's why I watch debates. I mean, I used to like the dumpster fires back when, you know, I was just starting out, and then I got a bit bored with them because I'm not learning anything. You know, there's only so many times you can hear the word "fuck" in a debate, isn't there? And calling names and everything like that. So there's only so many times that you can hear that. And then, but then he started getting more serious with his debates, FTFE, and I actually started learning something, and as well from his videos, and and that's the sort of debate I like. I want to learn.
Well, I think what he does is he mirrors his opponent.
Yeah.
So basically,
he matches them, doesn't he? Yeah.
He literally matches them. Like,
if they're polite, he's polite, isn't he?
Yes, if you know what I mean. And I have seen that. Like, I remember the very first stream, actually with Rachie. I think was him and Team Skeptic actually, and literally they spent like an hour and a half calmly talking to her, and it was. People just get fed up, don't they? And you kind of. I don't know how many debates FTFE has had, but you treat people how you get treated, don't you?
Well,
and he basically has some vile people on there, and sometimes they bring him down to his level. That's kind of how I feel a little bit.
The one thing I'll say as well is that I think that FTFE sometimes does get a bit rude. But on the other hand, I mean, if people are saying stupid things, I mean, are you really going to say like, oh, that's a really interesting point?
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it.
Do you know what I mean?
But one thing I am glad for, I think Mrs. Jones is back. One thing I am glad for is that FTFE is in no way treating Rachie any differently to anyone else.
No, and he shouldn't.
I think that's very, very important.
Yeah.
So whether or not you think FTFE was harsh,
no, I don't think he was.
The same will have to apply to everyone. If you think his language was too harsh in that debate, then you must agree with all the other times he's been like that, which is most of the time. So I agree with FTFE treating Rachie exactly the same as the flat earther. Let's put it that way.
Definitely.
And I think Gary Wybanger left a comment. It might have been him. I'm sorry if it wasn't Gary. FTFE pinned it, and he actually said, like, how can you treat a woman like that on one of your debates? And FTFE sort of said outright, like, what do you mean, Gary? Like, how can you treat a woman like that? Like, there is no question there.
I remember reading that. Yeah, I remember reading that. Why should I? He said, why should I treat anybody differently? I mean, treat everybody the same. This is what women want. Apparently, this is what they want. They want equality. But I say, why don't you want superiority, women? That is why men will always be better, because you just want to be equal with men. Why don't you try and better yourselves and be better than men? And this is why men will always be better. Sorry, feminists, but I don't.
I actually think there's a massive conspiracy going on.
Mr. Jones, I'm afraid.
I think women are in control and men are doing all they can to hide it and pretend that we're in control. And I don't know, like, I don't know. We're all equal. No one can live without each other. But, yeah.
No, it's very true. I mean, I'd take the mickey out of feminism, but...
I said this to my missus the other day, like, how times have changed. Say 100 years ago when the family had a bath, it would be like the father first, he'd jump in the bath, and then the children, and then the mother.
One last, yeah.
But nowadays, I guarantee you, if there's like one bath run, more than likely it's going to be the woman first, and then the man. Is like, I often do that with my missus. We're like, oh, we'll save water, and we'll share a bath. But like, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to ask her to jump in there after me. But like, I kind of don't mind going in there after her. Do you know what I mean? And like, I know it sounds stupid, but I was like, yeah, like, actually, women are winning. And like, they're not realizing it, but us guys have let a lot slip recently. Like,
that was your moment in the bath, STST. Had the epiphany. Listen, dude, I'm probably gonna have to go there. I've got work
actually,
tomorrow.
Dude,
but,
I was gonna end the stream at 11. Actually, I had my eye on it, so yeah. I think we've probably all got something to do in the morning. I do want to quickly mention actually another super chat from Night God for NOC 50. Thank you so much. Considering the feeling is what actually matters, Would a debunk that doesn't attack their intelligence maybe work better then? For an actual debunk, definitely. You know, if you sit there, I think I'll quickly mention, Mr. Jones mentioned at the very start, Cool Hard Logic. I'd never seen that as a flat earther, but even when I watched it as a non-flat earther, I knew that if I watched that as a flat earther, that would only send me deeper down the rabbit hole because of the language that was being used. And, you know, you've got to be, I don't know, there was certain language in it, and I literally thought, I can't even show this to a flat earther, if you know what I mean. Like, if someone goes, what's a great debunk video? If I show them that, they're just going to turn off instantly because it calls them an idiot within seconds. And do you know what I mean? So it's not going to work.
Well, it's in the title, isn't it? Flat earths. You know, questions for flat earths, debunking flat earths, etc., etc. It's in the title of it. It's in the title of the video. Yeah,
you know, horses for courses, but definitely so with cats. You know, it's worked twice. I know it worked more for me in a way, and you know, but I'm sure cats did have an effect on Ranty. You know, he knows himself how they the normality of actually a normal, genuine person spending time with them. It kind of it rubs off on you. You know, it's got to. But yeah, we're gonna end it. We're gonna. Oh, sorry, Bill.
No. I'll stop because otherwise we won't end. We'll just bring up
we'll just carry on, won't we?
Yeah.
Right. Well, Bullet Bill, mate. I'll say goodbye to you first. So, have you got anything you'd like to add briefly, other than that thing you just said? No, I'm not going to add it because we'll carry on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to talk about my take on Ranty and what happened with him, but I would very much like to debate BB. Even when it does happen, if you could help arrange that, that would be good. Even when it does happen, I'm going to be going in a fair bit harder than I did last time. So my advice to BB is read up, because you don't know what you're talking about, mate, and you're going to get destroyed, because I do know some of what I'm talking about. So, yeah, sorry. All right, see you. Nice to meet you, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, you too, mate. You too. Nice to meet you too. Learned a lot from you tonight. Thank you.
All right, see you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, always love a bit of Bullet Bill, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
It's kind of like, he's like the I pretend to be Batman to his Robin, but when really he's Batman. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like one of them. Like,
he's a very modest kind of guy, isn't he?
Yeah, very. And that's why I don't know, on this channel, I just love trying to surround the channel with people like that, you know, yourself included, mate. Like, modesty is kind of, modesty is something I wish we all had more of. You know, there wouldn't be many flat earthers if we were more modest.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, another one, Night God, Knock 50. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you all for a good stream, and thank you for the super chats. There's 30 people here, and I'm probably sure they're not the same 30 people that were here at the start. Please subscribe to Mr. Jones 1972. I've left a link. There's actually one pinned in this chat right now. There's also one in the description of this video. He is so close to 1,000 subscribers. He's done all that work himself organically. 900 and I don't know, something or other, and he's so close to 1,000. He's so close. So help him get there. I just think people like Mr. Jones deserve it. I love the continuity and the the frequency of the videos that you put out, mate, and it deserves recognition, buddy. So thank you so much for coming.
I take a lot of inspiration from Simon Danny. He uploads twice a week. And I think if I'd have started off the channel as a debunking channel, then we'd be sat here saying, like, he's so close to 10,000 subs or what have you. But the channel's evolved, if you will, so much since I started it that, but it's finally settled down now, and I'm really chuffed that people are liking what I do. and I'm getting some really nice comments back, and I'm getting some really good support from yourself, Global Mom, Wars Wally, etc., etc. Loads and loads of support, and and thank you, everybody. Basically, thank you.
Oh, mate. No, thank you. Thank you. I knew that you were going to add a little bit of spice with your BBC things, and
yeah, it's something I'm passionate about, that one.
Yeah, we agree on 99% of things, but I also knew there'd be things that I may not agree with you did, and say, Bullet Bill, it's brilliant. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly.
No, thank you so much, mate. I do have another super chat, mate. Matt Aronson, thank you so much for $5. You guys are awesome. Have to go, but much love from the US. Thank you so much, Matt. Just make sure you have subscribed on your way out, but that $5 means a lot. It really does. Thank you so much to everyone. Charlie Welch has subscribed already. Night Dog, thank you for all of those super chats. Just means the world for anyone that is supporting the channel.
Fantastic.
Yeah, no, it really does. It's brilliant. And Mr. Jones, thank you so much for being my first ever guest.
I'm truly honoured. Truly honoured.
Thank you, buddy.
It's amazing. Like I said before, the support from this community has been absolutely astounding. It has really moved me, and I can't thank everybody enough. So here's to everybody coming together, and let's get rid of this flat earth nonsense, shall we?
Yes.
But let's not censor them. Let's not censor them, because I believe in free speech, so let's not censor them. I say let flat earthers dig a hole and let them bury themselves in it, and let us add some topsoil, if you will.
Yes.
And that's about as far as I'll go with that one.
Nice. No, brilliant, mate.
Thank
Everyone,
you.
Do it. As Mr. Jones would say, a subliminal, go subscribe. Go bloody subscribe.
That's it.
Oh, guys. Everyone in the chat, Matt Aronson, Tiny Captain, Charlie Welch, Bullet Bill, Martin H, all of you, Night God, legends, the lot of you. Have a good day wherever you are. If your day is continuing, I'm going to go to bed very soon because I've got to go to bed. Bullet Bill, thank you for joining us as well. Peace out, everybody. Keep it global.